Hey guys, let's continue our last video and go over other components which you can add to your pages. The highlights component is a great way to highlight specific fields in one place. Let's add one to demonstrate. After dragging in this component, we'll use the settings on the right to customize it. Here you can add the fields which you'd like to highlight. Click Choose Field to open a list of all the fields which belong to the current object. Let's search for the status field to add it to our highlights bar. You can also choose to add related fields here by using the arrows next to lookup fields. For example, we can click the arrow next to the account owner field, which is a lookup field to the user's object. We can now look through a list of the fields in the user's object and add them to our highlights bar, such as adding the business unit of the account owner. If we add a field which is not set for the current record, this section will instead remain blank. In this way, you can present important or frequently used fields in a specific location on your page. Another component with useful information is the related list single component. It's very similar to the related multi-component we discussed in the previous video, but this component instead displays one single object. To set it up, simply select a system object from the settings on the right, such as the tickets object. Now this component will display a list view of all the tickets which are related to the current record. This provides you with easy access to a specific type of related records, which you can then open or even work with directly from the current page. If there are no related records of the selected object type, this component will still be displayed but will be empty. The next component I'd like to go over is duplicates. This component will be displayed anytime it finds duplicate information in the field you select. To set it up, you'll need to choose the fields you'd like to compare. For example, let's use the right side menu to select the mobile field. Now this component will let us know if there are any other records which have the exact same phone value as this record. You can even choose multiple fields to compare. For example, by adding the mobile field here, we'll also see any records which have the same phone or mobile value as the current record. When working with multiple fields, the duplicate component will show any matches between any of the fields, so that if this record has the same value in the phone field as a different record has in the mobile field, they'll be considered duplicate records. If you'd like to separate between these two fields, you can instead use two different duplicate components which each check for individual fields. Once the duplicate component discovers a match, it will provide you with access to the duplicate records and even let you merge them. In this way, you can ensure you don't have multiple instances of the same information in your system. The last component I'd like to add to our page is the pipeline. You can use the pipeline to keep track of and update pick list fields. Let's demonstrate using the status field. After dragging in this component, we'll first choose a pick list field from the drop-down list, in our case the status. Now a list with all the options in the pick list field will appear. By switching the toggle next to these options, we can choose which ones will be included in our pick list. The options will be added in the order selected, but you can easily change this order by dragging them. You can also remove options by reswitching the toggle. In this way, you can provide a nice visual of the statuses the account goes through and the order of these statuses. Users can update the selected pick list field directly through the pipeline by clicking the relevant options, such as progressing accounts through the statuses. Let's save our page to take a closer look at the functionality of our newly added components. Our highlights bar lets us quickly check the values set for the selected fields and related fields. The related list single component shows us all the tickets which are related to the current account. We can search and edit this view just like any other system view. Use the pencil icon to quickly edit values, or click on a specific ticket to open its page. This lets you easily access related data. Let's take a look at the duplicate component. By clicking View, we can see the account which our current account shares a duplicate value with. The Merge button lets you combine these two records so that they are no longer duplicates, which we'll explain further at a later point. The pipeline quickly shows us the status of our account and even lets us switch the status by clicking on the different values. By using the many different components, you can completely customize your pages and optimize your workflow.